Remy Casti. No Greg Bird. Is that a big setback?
Yes, it is. Yeah, Greg Bird is very much the heartbeat of this Catalan Dragons side. Josh Drinkwater has come in and impressed, of course, since his arrival from the Magpies earlier this season. But Greg Bird, I think he's the beating heart, isn't he, of this Dragons side. He's really settled in the south of France, a place he now calls home. He'll be sorely missed, but I think he'll go with a nod and a wink from the coaching staff and the rest of the players. They'll say they've got this one covered. Go and experience what most people would get to experience once or twice in their lives, and that's been at the bedside of the birth of a child. So, you know, I don't think many people are going to begrudge him that, are they?
And it means that Jason Baitieri, who was not originally selected, gets a reprieve. He'd lost his place to Louis Anderson for this one, but he's back on the bench for the Catalan Dragons. It's a pretty beefy bench as well. Anderson, Busquet, Kenny Edwards and Jason Baitieri. And Catalan get first touch of the ball. They beat Salford at the Magic Weekend, but Salford beat the Catalan Dragons at their place at Easter. So it can be done by this Salford side. They showed lots of stubbornness in defeat against the Castleford Tigers last time out. Here is Sam Moa.
Catalan, a much different side. We talked about that run of games, but not just are they picking the points up, the performances are steadily getting better. Yes, they will miss Greg Bird, but the important thing for Catalan Dragons is that they have enough players, and Sam Moa is not a weakness to bring in. And Kenny Edwards, who we've watched a couple of times on Sky, is a real handful when he comes on off the bench.
So Drinkwater hoists that kick, and Bibi is underneath it. First set of the game completed without any drama from the Catalan Dragons' point of view. Salford have ball in hand, and despite their troubles, as you can probably hear, good following for the Salford Red Devils in Perpignan. Plenty of their fans making the trip. That's the halfway line as Jones plays the ball, and Lee Mossop, starting this week, was on the bench last time out. Robert Louis hoists that kick. Gigot comes for it in the end. It hasn't got great distance on it, and it is Gigot who gets his hands on it in the end.
He was miles off that ball then, Gigot. Robert Louis loves a high kick, he loves a high bomb, and there's all kinds of swirling. We know how notoriously windy it is at Stadio Bear Brutus, and that seems to be, I think Robert Louis will have just logged that in his brain and think, I'll bring that out a couple more times and see how committed Tony Gigot will be.
Very tight in defence as well from the Salford Red Devils. They were split open, but they were split open in the second 40 minutes against the Castleford Tigers at home last week. There's a reaction to that. They do not want this pack, and the likes of Gigot opening them up around the ruck area. That would be fatal for them.
Drinkwater again, little dink over the top. And Chamberlain fields the ball, signed from the Widnes Vikings. Ed Chamberlain.
Hold it, Ben.
Salford will just be happy to weather what's going to be a lively start from Catalan on home soil. If they can do that, that would be encouraging.
Well, Salford have all the logistics to deal with, the travel, unfamiliar sleeping arrangements in terms of sleeping in a hotel, etc. The flight. So to ease themselves into this game, they'll probably talk about completing a number of sets. It might be the first 4, 5, 6, but it looks like it's on course so far. Good work from Daniel Murray.
Wood kicks over the top. That's a good kick. Just a bit too strong. I thought he was going to kick right, but Gigot and Lewis Tierney watched that one run dead.
Those are the sort of plays that are really going to be magnified. The importance of those are going to be magnified. This time of year in the south of France, it's oppressively hot. It'll be muggy, it'll be close, very, very difficult to catch your breath between efforts. Those sorts of things will have a compounding effect, Bill, on the opposition. So that'll be an area I know they'll have spoken about, I know they'll have worked on, and cannot afford too many of those.
Been 30 plus this week in Perpignan degrees, 30 plus degrees, I should say. So heavy going for these guys, and for the big guys like Mikel Simon. as he's tackled. Ryan Lannon and Sam Moa now forward, but the ball's flung away by Mikel Simon, and Fouad Yaha has to retreat to retrieve that ball for the Catalan Dragons, who've lost territory. It's interesting that Jody Broughton's not selected against his former club. He is fit, but the wingers, Fouad Yaha and Lewis Tierney, have been doing a good job.
There's lots of people doubting Steve McNamara and his impact early on in his career at Catalan. He certainly looks to have proved a lot of people wrong. He's got competition for places. Jason Baitieri, who's been a cornerstone of this club for 5, 6, 7 years, he was only brought in late after Greg Bird was otherwise engaged. So he's got competition for places, Steve McNamara. He's got a system that the Dragons and the Dragons players enjoy working towards, and they are a stubborn side to beat.
Salford looking to be stubborn here. Josh Jones now, making only his 4th appearance in the last 12 games, Josh Jones. As Robert Louis kicks that one from just inside his own half. Darrell Olferts is chasing this one for all he's worth, and looking to close down Lewis Tierney, but Tierney skips away.
Nice kick into space there, good set from Salford. You mentioned Josh Jones in the centre for the 2nd week running. It's a very different prospect. Playing in the back row, it's more about your work rate. Playing in the centre, you've got to get those crucial decisions right in attack and defence.
There is Braden Williame, and Williame has got away down the left-hand side. He's looking for some support. It's arrived in the shape of Fouad Yaha, and the opening try of the game will go to Fouad Yaha and the Catalan Dragons, striking from deep. And it was Braden Williame who set them on the way. And we were just saying about the wingers being in form for the Catalan Dragons. Well, here's the proof.
That's a great ball, isn't it? From Benjamin Garcia to find Williame on the edge. Lovely little step, and calm as you like. Fouad Yaha backing up on the outside, but the origins of that try were in the work that Lewis Tierney did to get back on the other wing to recover the ball. And then, you know, a question we often get asked is, you know, why are they running sideways towards underneath their own sticks? It's to improve the position and the start point of the set. Avoids being jammed in on by the defence, gives you options, and then every now and again there's a bit of quick thinking and quick passing, and that's the result. Great start, the Dragons.
7th try of the season for Fouad Yaha, who got 2 tries on Good Friday at Salford. It was on the losing side when Salford won 32-16, but Catalan get the first points on the boards. Still a little bit of speculation that Fouad Yaha might be tempted elsewhere. Here's Josh Drinkwater. Looking to convert this early try then from Fouad Yaha, and he's wide of the target with that one. Disappointment from Josh Drinkwater.
Fouad Yaha, you don't expect him to tip that ball on Benjamin Garcia, who can play second row or centre. We're only remarking about Josh Jones and the difference in the 2 positions. Josh Jones a little bit too far infield. The ball is always the threat, so you can understand why he's a little bit further infield. But Braden Williame, he's a fabulous player. Williame had a good World Cup with Fiji. Advantage to the Dragons.
4-0 up they are then. And Salford is caught out wide as Mikel Simon plays that ball. Here is Braden Williame.
Another thing really noticeable about this Dragon side, you mentioned earlier on, Barry, it's a settled squad. It's a largely unchanged squad. The spine of that squad has stayed the same now for a number of weeks, and with that familiarity and familiarity of playing together, you very often see that error rate drop as guys get to understand how each other play alongside one another. That's exactly what's happened. Their error rate has gone down, their completion rate has gone up, and the wins and the results have followed.
Remy Casti has missed just 2 games this season from 24. As Gigot hoists another high kick.
Takes it well, the young fullback. They've got a number of options when it comes to the last tackle. Drinkwater, Lange, Tony Gigot, Michael McAlorum can just jump out and put a kick in. And you're right about Remy Castilleville. I think this is the best season he's had in his career. Just reminding everybody, although he's over 30, well over 30, he's still got what he takes.
Well, he made the dream team in 2012. I mean, this is the sort of form that got him picked for that. Here is Lee Mossop, another front rower. The Cumbrian plays the ball just over his own 40-metre line. Here is Junior Sau now. David Mead gets a hold of him. It's the 5th tackle. And good defence great defence from the Catalan Dragons. And Lannan, what was he doing in possession?
Huge mistake. I don't expect anybody in the Salford shirts had counted those tackles, and if they did, I don't know why they're giving it to Ryan Lannan. He's not going to take control, but look at the advantage that Catalan get now. They're over the halfway and into what players and coaches term as good ball. Having a look at some attacking shapes.
Well, they got that wrong, didn't they, right from the start, because they're putting a spread play onto an edge on the 4th tackle in their own half, which is, you wouldn't normally see that. It's an error much earlier on.
McIlorum, little dummy from him, takes on the Salford defenders. There's the former Wigan man, Gigot now. As Mikel Simon was looking for somebody there, there was nobody on his shoulder. First error of the game from either side, really. Well, apart from that mistake. And Lannan looking to make amends on his own.
Good response from Ryan Lannan. Can feel probably complicit in that mistake at the last, and there's a knock-on from dummy half. Mikel Simon, he's looking for somebody to pass to, thinks about the offload, and the pressure defensively from Salford forces that error, forces that mistake, but then just a simple knock-on at dummy half.
Well, that's a let-off for Catalan, because Salford were coming out of defence with a bit of purpose then.
Yeah, you just imagine the pencil in Ian Watson's notebook. A couple of potentially key moments in this first half. The first was a kick very easily went dead, misjudged the length of that on about 4 minutes, and then on 9 minutes Chamberlain picking up from the base of the ruck, first tackle in possession after some good work from Salford player to get out of their own 10-metre line. It was Ryan Lannan, wasn't it?
McIlorum. Here is Samisoni Langi now. Mead. Sau gets him at the 2nd attempt.
That's a good battle, that. Junior Sau, David Mead, two very competitive players. Lots of skill, lots of pace, should I say.
Mead will be hoping it's space. As McIlorum, little cunning change of direction from McIlorum, but the passing not good from Catalan there, and Gigot has to retrieve the ball, bumps off Josh Jones, has a go at Mossop and Louis, but they deal with him. 4 tackles gone. Both sides guilty of a little bit of sloppiness. Sam Moa keeping it simple, and then flicks the pass away. Casti keeps it alive. Play on, says the referee. That's the 5th tackle as Benjamin Garcia is uprooted by Josh Jones. The ball back with Drinkwater. Little grubber kick from Drinkwater, too strong.
That was great work by Josh Jones, wasn't it? That overcooked on the last tackle, unfortunately, by Josh Drinkwater, if you're a Catalan Dragons fan, but Josh Jones came up with a great tackle on Garcia. He almost goes into the bracket of try-saver there.
Salford looking to turn the tide if they're to pick up the points in Perpignan, because they haven't travelled very well. They've lost their last 6 league and cup matches away from home. Only 1 Super League win for them on the road, in fact.
And they've lost the last 6 visits here as well, Bill, so it's not been a happy hunting ground, in particular at the Stade Gilbert Brutus, has it?
Not really. Do remember a record draw between these two a few years ago, of 40 points all. Mayhem it was.
I remember that. Two sides back then that were prepared to throw the ball around. We're looking at 12, almost 13 minutes, only 1 try, and that was a breakaway try. The details of Salford's game plan, the details of what they're doing in terms of what's the role, what's the responsibility, that's the crucial aspect of this game for them.
Garcia taking him on. Crowd didn't like that from the Salford defenders. Mikel Simon, Sam Moa. Moa flicks the ball away, and it's back to 0, says the referee, and Samisoni Langi has the ball. Salford could have grabbed that then, but instead it squirted back into Catalan hands, and they're under pressure here now.
Yeah, Sam Mower attempted offload, went back, knocked on by Salford. The Catalan Dragons have an extended look at the Salford defensive line.
Drinkwater, little dummy from him. Not quite clicking in attack, Catalan, but there's a ball steal there, says referee Michalauskas, and that's a penalty, and presumably Drinkwater's going to go for two.
Really going to take the time, slow this game down a touch. Josh Drinkwater, very often sixes, sevens, half-backs, scrum half, standoffs, whatever the term is nowadays. It's very often they don't want to get tackled, they don't want to get caught with the ball. They see that as a mistake and an error. The shape, the setup of what they were trying to put on wasn't right. But Josh Drinkwater will attempt to knock the 2 points over, but he'll be feeding some information back to his players. Make sure you get that right next time, please.
Remy Casti's the captain on the field for the Catalan Dragons. I love the way Tony Gigo just has to be in there, doesn't he?
He's one of those players and one of those characters, isn't he? I love watching him. Too few in this game.
Drinkwater on target. As we see Sam Mower, this I think is where that ball came out.
That's the second offload that Sam Mower put in. It's the big tackle. Josh Jones in, shuts that player down, but when Sam Mower offloads that ball, two Salford defenders are thereabouts, and whether it was bad luck or bad management, they ended up giving Catalan Dragons 6 more tackles. And that's where those 2 points out, the missed points from the conversion of the try, of course.
Frustrating for Salford then, because you trace it back to when they were bringing the ball out of defence and Ryan Lannon brought it out and then Ed Chamberlain knocked on. It's all stemmed from that, isn't it? They've been on the back foot since then.
Yeah, that, again, not to labour the point, but that, those sorts of things can really build up on, compound on you, particularly this time of year, particularly here, and particularly against the Catalan Dragon side that's looked increasingly ruthless and increasingly efficient as this season has gone on.
Here is Casti. Mossop confronting him. Sam Mower, and this Catalan pack has really done them proud in the last few weeks during this run. They've been in good form. Sam Mower felt that. He felt something. There's a grimace on his face.
There's a heavy challenge, a heavy tackling. This is what Sam Mower does as good as anybody. Engages 3 defenders, reverses, turns round, keeps going, makes himself really difficult to put down. Looks at landing on his front, but as he's reversing into this tackle, as we see so often, you're not in control of where players are, and landing on top of you, there might just be a little bit of something, but Junior South, shoulder in, 3 defenders, including, I think it's Ryan Lannon, yeah, that's right.
Just look at the amount of Salford players that have been recruited, both sides of the ruck. The Dragons, they're mixing it up. Hit one open, hit one short side, bring a man from short side to the open on the carry. They're asking plenty of questions, these Salford middlemen.
And there's more to come from the bench for the Catalan Dragons as well, because they've gone for bulk on the bench. Williami plays the ball. It's the 5th tackle, and so Drinkwater hoists that kick, and Darrell Alforts claims that one very nonchalantly.
Really well taken, Darrell Alforts. You could see with the way that came off the boot, the shape, the body shape of Josh Drinkwater as he struck that. That was a spiraled, rifled bomb. They have a tendency to change direction late in the air. An awful lot of hours on the training field going, the back 3 of any Super League side, in learning how to defuse those efficiently.
Lamatazi driving that ball forward. Now here's Josh Wood.
Good work from Josh Woods. He needs a quick ruck. He needs some speed, and he's the type of 9 that'll get out and have a look.
Shorrocks, short pass from him.
And in the perfect position to get this kick away. No mistakes made on this one.
Lannon plays the ball, and the kick's drilled upfield, and Gigo confronted by a good chase from Salford. They're in numbers. And Tierney Lewis Tierney in a good run of form in the side. I said Jody Broughton's fit, but Tierney's holding his place.
There's a little bit of game plan stuff here from Salford as well. The majority of the kicks have gone down into this left corner. They obviously see Lewis Tierney as a bigger threat in open field than he is against a set defence, a decent chase.
Simon gets the pass away to Samisoni Langi, who has Josh Drinkwater alongside him, and Drinkwater, who can do no wrong for the Catalan Dragons since his signing, goes in under the posts. His 7th try of the season, but again, the big men doing the damage, and it was Mikel Simon right up the middle.
Quick play the ball. Michael McAlorum, who's really grown into his role at Catalan Dragons, and a heavy influence now in the way that they go about their business. He jumps out after a quick play of the ball. He finds finds Michael Simon. This is a beautiful offload to Lange, who does an exceptional job. He just brings the fullback, arcs his run so that the fullback has to commit to Samisoni Lange. And Josh Drinkwater, another player that's made a huge impact in this Catalan Dragons side. And what have we got there? 17, 18 minutes on the clock. Very patient. First try 6. 12 minutes past. Salford having a bit of a go back. Not too much, and the patience and composure of Catalan Dragons has allowed them to strike again from distance.
Drinkwater giving himself a pretty straightforward conversion, bang in front of the posts, taking him to 40 since his arrival at the Dragons not so long ago, Josh Drinkwater, but it's all been going right since then.
And that's what they bought Michael McAlorum for. Steel in defence, guile in attack, in and around the ruck. Beautiful from Simon, even better from Lange. And then doing what all good halfbacks should do, supporting, sniffing around, waiting to pick up the dregs. This time in the form of another 6 points for the Dragons.
Averages 11 points a game from Josh Drinkwater since he's signed for the club, and the results since he signed for the club have been phenomenal. 12 games, this will be 13th, but 1-9, drawn 1 ahead of this game since Josh Drinkwater arrived.
Just to put that into perspective as well, the Catalans' average points scored across this season has been 20. So if Drinkwater's contributing 11 of those, that shows how important he is to this team.
Well, Catalan coming up with an error from the restart, and Salford immediately with an opportunity to hit back. Attacking that end where their supporters are gathered, they haven't really had an opportunity to say hello to them yet, but you can hear the Salford fans in the distance as Remy Casti tackles Lee Mossop. Wood. Here is Robert Louis. Lamatasi struggling to get to his feet. Ben Nakumbawai, I beg your pardon. Here is Robert Louis again. Here is Lamatasi now. Catalan's turn to defend. Garcia and Mikel Simon making the tackle. Chamberlain, Robert Louis now. Shorrocks across the field. Wood gets the pass away. They are in the corner, and a good response from Salford as Daryl Alfords goes in for his 2nd try for the club. Catalan coming up with a mistake, and Salford making him pay for it.
A nice shift play. You're right, Bill, they've hardly spent any time at all at this part of the field, the Salford Red Devils. They needed to be good, they needed to maximise that opportunity, and the Salford fans, who look like they've travelled in good numbers, we're delighted to see Daryl Alfords get over for the 1st try.
It's only his 2nd Salford try.
It's great work by Jake Shorrocks as well. He used Junior Sal and his front line run as a real foil to release Ed Chamberlain out the back. Ed Chamberlain then beats Lewis Tierney's tackle and finds Daryl Alfords. Here's the man who provided the final pass. But if we get another look at that, the assist from Jake Shorrocks, have a look at what he does. Squares up and then kids that Catalan defence. The short ball is coming to Junior Sal, cushions the pass to this man who provides the final ball for Daryl Alfords. Salford on the board.
Red Devil supporters in that corner of the ground, making themselves heard as Ed Chamberlain lines up this conversion, the Irish international. And this will be a big tonic for the side if he can land this one from the sidelines after that try from Daryl Alfords, the former Newcastle and Hemel winger. So Chamberlain from out wide keeps his head down, but wide of the target.
Yes, this ball comes from Louis to Shorrocks. Just that ball there, beautifully disguised, beautifully weighted. The attempted tackle from Lewis Tierney goes wrong, allows Daryl Alfords to go free. It was Josh Wood who was the... Thanks, Barry. You point out for me. You need to speak up, mate. I'm gonna give you the credit for this. I got the names wrong. Wasn't Ed Chamberlain? We'll take the credit away from him and we'll give it to Josh Wood. Just as good a ball.
It's a try. Oh, and that's out on the full.
Big mistake from the Catalan Dragons, trying to wrestle this game back, and as we've said, only I think that was the first opportunity that Salford have had. They've come away with points. It looks like they'll get another look at it here. Josh Drinkwater, too much welly behind the kickoff, goes out on the full.
So Salford presented with another opportunity. Catalan committed the error, Salford made them pay. Can they capitalise on that miscalculation from Josh Drinkwater? Jason Baitieri is on the field. We saw Mikel Simon coming off. And Shorrocks on loan from the Wigan club, Jake Shorrocks. And they can't capitalise because they've come up with the error.
Tyrone McCarthy, the ball is a little bit too far in front of him. Gets that catch all wrong. He's trying to run towards the ball. It's just drifting away from him. And the Salford Red Devils, unfortunately, just give that possession away.
Need one more in here.
Those are the little things that, you know, when the pressure is on you as a club, you've got to get those right. You've got to pay more attention to detail. The pass from dummy half from Chamberlain wasn't great. But Tyrone McCarthy still needs to react. As you say, Barry, it's an excellent opportunity. They've had easy rugby league, haven't they? Attacking rugby league for the last 5 minutes due to the Catalan Dragons dropping a little in form.
Catalan knowing that this is their big chance to cement a top 8 place, because they don't want to have to go to Wigan next time out, their final opening phase game, needing to win that one to make sure of a top 8 finish. They need to do the job here as the offload finds Gigot, and the fullback has lost the ball.
Yeah, if they don't respect possession, it was a good offload from the bus. It went to hands. Julian Busquet got the ball away, and Tony Gigot with a loose carry, a loose grip, he gives it away.
So that's zero tackle after another Catalan error. Steve McNamara won't be impressed by that. Been a good start from Catalan, but they've just got a bit sloppy in the last 7 or 8 minutes. And it's allowed Salford to build a bit of momentum, to get a bit of confidence.
Great work from Michael McAlorum then, chasing hard from the inside, made that tackle. You see a little bit of a change in line speed now from Catalan. They have to get that right. If they're just rushing up, making rash decisions, they can make mistakes. They're sharpening the focus and intensity, that's different.
Shorrocks will play the ball. Here is Josh Wood now. Tyrone McCarthy coming off the bench for the Salford Red Devils. Jason Baitieri, likewise, off the bench, making the tackle on the last. Louis puts a good kick in. Oh, Chamberlain couldn't grab it, and Catalan have it back.
I have a feeling if Nakambai picks that ball up, it could have been play on and a try. A penalty.
Salford offside.
And you can see in the early stages of this game, Catalan Dragons are having a look at the right side of the Salford side. Robert Louis, who puts that kick in, such an influential player in this side. If they can take some juice and some petrol out of his tank by targeting, making him stress, making him work.
Next line, fellas.
Tony Gigot, a little bit of treatment on the run.
I think you can gauge just how heavy the conditions are in terms of humidity and the oppressive heat in Perpignan.
27 degrees it says on my phone.
It used to be thermometers, didn't
Yes,
they?
I was trying to
that
think
gave you
of the right
temperature
word.
readouts. Now it's phones.
Yes, smartphone. So yeah, very hot, very humid, sticky, muggy conditions.
Well, here comes David Mead now, and Mead slicing his way through, gets the pass infield. Gigot will try and chase it, and Josh Wood has to boot the ball dead, and Gigot showing the footwork that his brother Sammy would have been proud of. Sammy just signed for Spartak Moscow.
It's great work by David Mead. Just that initial burst of acceleration takes him through. You thought there was maybe an opportunity to find Tierney on the outside, but he chose to go to this man on the inside. And they've got the next best thing, and that's a repeat set, another crack. That's where the natural pace of David Mead's so advantageous for the Catalan Dragons. It's that first step on the catch is so impressive. It forces Junior Sau into a defensive read and defensive tackle attempts rather than anything else.
And then Gigot allows the ball to bobble past him, has to return to his own half to collect. And here is Louis Anderson in his 7th season as a Catalan Dragons player, very popular figure with the local community, because he's a very enthusiastic French person. He likes the French lifestyle, does Louis Anderson. There he is.
Give great service to the British game in general, of course. Was a Warrington Wolves early on in his Super League career. Good shape, good setup.
Drinkwater weaving, trying to find a way through. Here is Julien Bousquet now. Bousquet motoring towards the try line. Can't turn, he's held up.
It just opened up for the big front rower, but Salford are up to the task. All you've got to do, you don't have to get into a wrestling match, just make sure the big man can't get the ball down. He'll bring that ball to the 10-metre line. He's got the ball in 2 hands. Doesn't know whether to pass it on or get his head down, and he does the latter.
On the last, Samisoni Langi hoists the kick, and Daryl Alferts claims that ball.
Does he jump from the field of play and gets tackled in the in-goal? Samisoni Langi, oh, yeah, perfect. And the referee, Scott Mikolauskas, gets the call correct.
There'll be no rush to get this restarted. The Red Devils taking their time to compose themselves and take another look at where his foot, both his feet in fact, leave the field of play into the in-goal. And that's considered a definite, deliberate move from Alferts to get the ball safe. A repeat set for the Dragons once again.
Drinkwater claims that restart. Here is Jason Baitieri. Bull of a player, Baitieri.
That's 12 tackles, 13 now in succession for Salford.
Oh, he's got a whack there.
It's one of those occasions where, again, because he's got his back towards the defenders, ends up in an awkward position. There's a tweak or a click or something that players don't like. It's not a nice position to be in. There you go. Defenders in, they're trying to take him to ground, and he ends up
He gets
bent over awkward.
There's almost an argument there that you ban the ball carrier from reversing into a tackle for their own safety. Puts you in a really vulnerable position.
I do think that's why a lot of these things happen, that there are the odd occasion where people are trying to hurt their opponents, but the majority of the time it's just because of the ball carrier and the position that he ends up and finds himself in, and the defender's trying to take that player to ground. But luckily, he's okay.
Play continues. Jason Baitieri is back on his feet. Here is Louis Anderson now. McIlorum quickly in there. Drinkwater. Julien Bousquet. McCarthy in there once more to make the tackle, but Bousquet manages to offload the kick, and Alferts has to bat that one dead. And the pressure building on this Salford defence.
Beautiful stuff from Catalan. An over-the-top offload. And you see Michael McIlorum, he knows exactly what he's doing. Get the ball near the opponent's try line. Make Daryl Alferts sweat a little bit. He has to make a decision. It's almost in the in-goal.
I know he'd come out with this Josh Drinkwater stat about so many wins since he arrived, but Michael McIlorum's impact, 11 wins in 17, because he was out of the side for a while.
Absolutely.
Once he's found his feet.
He has taken some time, and it's difficult to learn the language, come to terms with the culture, and understand, as John said at the start of the game, the habits of the players, and he's right on the money and playing as well as he ever has done at the minute.
This is just energy in the bank for the Dragons. This is now the third successive set that Salford have had to defend. It's going to take its toll at some point, although you'd imagine if Salford see this one out, they'll be extremely happy. The Dragons going to grow frustrated if they can't register some points soon.
Well, they're looking to register points now. The ball back in the middle of the field with Gigot, bounces away, gets the ball off to Louis Anderson. Anderson turning, looking to offload, but Levy Nzongu, the young Frenchman out there to help make the tackle, he'll be enjoying this one. So Bousquet takes matters into his own hands. There he is, number 25, Levy Nzongu, 20 years of age, from Toulouse. Little kick comes in, the ball's batted dead. It's another goal line dropout.
Ball pressure. That's the fourth occasion that Salford have had to start the set of 6 again. Get ready. Beautiful kick from the fullback Tony Gigot. Good chase. There's a worrying sign. Robert Louis. It's imperative for Salford's chances in attacking positions that Robert Louis is fit and able to contribute.
It just looks like he gets his arm caught in the tackle there, but all this time will be gladly soaked up by the Salford Red Devils, because that's 24 consecutive tackles they've had to be organised and have had to execute properly to hold the Dragons out.
That looks like a hyper-extended elbow. That they're nasty. Then you put your arm out and somebody takes it, whether it's a player on your team or an opponent, sends your elbow the wrong way, it's going inwards, and Levy and Nzongu into the action and will be keen to make an impression.
Well, he did make an impression when he was at St Helens. He was then in their under-19 side, and he's a physical presence, is Levy Nzongu, originally from Brazzaville in the Congo. French speaking, and came to France as a young man, and he's in there to make the tackle. Big occasion for him. Played for Toulouse in the championship a number of times. Catalan on the attack, and Bousquet seeing a lot of the ball.
Two subs for the Catalan Dragons, Bousquet and Anderson. Massive impact.
Long ball finds Louis Anderson, who does well there. Louis Anderson, almost by accident, spun and wrong-footed the Salford defence. McIlorum's short pass. Again, Salford are equal to the task, although has that ball been grounded?
I think you're right, Bill. I think while the Salford players are trying to push, can't quite see who it is.
It's Jason Baitieri underneath all of that.
Yeah, I think it's Baitieri. Again, he's reversing towards the try line.
He's claiming it.
He thinks he's scored it. He thinks he's scored it. I think he's right, and you spotted it early on, Bill. They're trying to push him back, and all he does is just simply twists and turns and gets the ball down.
He does.
I think that's a try.
Well, you can't see from there where it is. You know the ball's gone to ground. The question is there white chalk underneath that ball? He won't have got it any further than that.
Ooh, it might be short.
Are we reframing our answer there?
No, I think
my first instinct is normally pretty good, and I agreed with Bill. I thought he'd got over, but one of the angles tells us he's a bit short, but actually the ball then rolls forward with the player.
As has been the custom in the Super League for the last couple of
We
years. Well, that's the question, yeah.
Unfortunately, our French colleagues, I don't think, gave us... No, they didn't give us what Scott Mikalauskis' view was. So what's Phil Bentham's? And it is a try for Jason Baitieri. His first of the season. Well, he knew it was.
I think that gives you your answer, doesn't it? I think Scott Mikalauskis has definitely gone upstairs. He has to decide, in his opinion, whether that is a try or a no try, and the video referee is tasked with considering any clear evidence to the contrary. Otherwise, he must give the decision as it goes with the on-field referee. So another score for the Catalan Dragons. 16 points to 4, kick to come.
And Jason Baitieri, who was a late call up to the side because of Greg Bird's unavailability, has made the most of his opportunity. Josh Drinkwater will surely make the most of this opportunity to add 2 more points. Curls that one in onto the roof of the swimming pool.
He does really well, doesn't he, the substitute, Louis Anderson. Bouncing ball just fools, it just holds up the defenders. But you can see that Nzongu and the substitute Tyrell McCarthy are expecting a longer ball, a longer pass.
And the first replay we got was probably the most definitive view, which we didn't see during the video assessment of whether that was a try or not, but probably the biggest evidence yet, or pictorial evidence yet, that we've got that was a try.
So in the end, you agree with me and Bill? Well,
I agree with the referee. Well,
I accept your
well done,
apology.
Scott Mikalowskis.
I accept
18
your
points
apology.
to 4.
Let's move on.
Braden Williami bounces away from the challenge of Robert Louis. Catalan ahead by 18 points to 4, looking for the victory that will seal their place in the top 8, which was a distant prospect when they were really going through the horrors earlier in the season.
Well, the action man is on now, Kenny Edwards. There's always something going on around him in attack and defence. And it doesn't really matter which side you're on. The game against Warrington, he whacked 2 of his own players.
Three subs in a row there have taken carries in. Edwards, then Bousquet, then Anderson, then Bousquet.
Oh, what a catch by Fouad Yaha, and here he is, Kenny Edwards. You're right, there's always something going on when he's on the pitch. But well done, Fouad Yaha, for claiming that ball, and Kenny Edwards was there to make the most of that opportunity. Off the bench, and you know what, in his 70 games with the Parramatta Eels, he got 6 tries. 6 tries in 70 games. This is his 8th appearance for the Catalan Dragons and his 5th try.
He's certainly put himself about since he came over. He came over with a reputation, and that reputation wasn't all good. There's a risk and a gamble element there from the French club, but boy, he's repaying the faith they showed in him, isn't he? He's on the end of that, and the point we were making in the build-up, that all started downfield with Kenny Edwards on that first carry. You picked that up, Bill. Then Louis Anderson, then Julien Bousquet. All 3 substitutes having a massive impact off the bench.
Didn't Kenny Edwards get penalised for whacking one of his own players in that game?
He did. I like him, Bill. I like him. He's got some rough edges, but he really adds value to this Catalan side. And what he does is he attracts the attention of the opposition. While they're distracted with him, everyone else is getting on with their job.
It was against Huddersfield, wasn't it? I think from memory, came in and clouted one of his own players.
Sure he did. Drinkwater's on target again.
In all the excitement, we're crediting Kenny Edwards, but it's a wonderful take from Fouad Yaha. Leaps above Bibi, Jake Bibi. Really, when he looks back at that, be disappointed he wasn't aware of his surroundings and players in his immediate vicinity. But a good try and an immediate impact from Kenny Edwards.
So Catalan now moving into a position of authority in this game. 24-4, 12-4. Catalan coming up with the errors. Salford were looking as though they're going to make a contest of this, but this could get a bit ugly for Salford.
Yeah, the 12 points in 3 minutes has really taken the wind out of Salford. At 12 points to 4, there's a game there, and there's a positive half-time conversation. The last 3 or 4 minutes has completely changed the complexion of Ian Watson's half-time talk.
In the early stages of the games, I thought it was very evident, very prominent that they were going towards the left side, Catalan. And I'm looking at it thinking that they're trying to get at Robert Louis. They're trying to make his afternoon or early evening uncomfortable. Well, that's a lovely kick as well over to the left side for Salford. But they drifted away from that, got distracted. If you have a criticism of Catalan, they can easily get distracted, but when they apply themselves, as they have done there in defence, they're a sensational side.
Well, Ed Chamberlain driven back by Benjamin Julian and Samisoni Langi in that tackle.
They had a little lull, the Dragons, didn't they? On or around the 20 to 25 minute mark. Alferts was the beneficiary for Salford and posted those 4 points you see against their name, but they look to be turning the screw now.
Well, Salford have done it once. Can they turn the tide again? They need to get some possession. They haven't really had the chance. Robert Louis will look for a 40-20, but couldn't get the angle, couldn't get the distance, and Gigot leaves it to Lewis Tierney.
Well, the kick itself was a bit of a flapper, really. All they've done is kicked it with no real direction in terms of where it's going. Lewis Tierney having a little tete-a-tete.
Was that a winger's tete-a-tete?
Don't start, though. You don't need to get him going on that.
Here we go, he's having another goal, Lewis Tierney.
3. Move, Greg! Yes, 3, got it.
Good carry.
Lewis Tierney plays the ball. Here is Kenny Edwards. Edwards, a real handful. Josh Jones has the measure of him on that occasion.
He is. He's what we term a big bag of nonsense.
Sam Moa.
There's no disguising what Sam Moa's doing.
Yeah, he's been lively this season. He's had 2 suspensions to his name as Samisoni Langi hoists that kick. Well, the last high kick that Catalan launched came up for them, and that one has as well, as Alford spills the ball and Julien makes the most of it. And can they round off this first half with more points? The ball with David Mead. Mead going for the line, but he is driven back.
Move it! Hold.
Junior Sau and Ed Chamberlain with the tackle. Well, they've got back in defensive line now of Salford as Drinkwater goes across the field. Here's Williami, and Fouad Yaha will get his second of the game with a flying finish. He's picked up a bang to the head as well.
It was an acrobatic finish, wasn't it, from Fouad Yaha? It may have contributed to the grimace on his face, but at 28 points to 8, the last 5 minutes have been fantastic for the Catalan Dragons and their supporters, devastating for the Salford Red Devils, and it all came from the knock-on from Daryl Alfords. I thought they'd made the wrong decision going short side, but then this lovely little square up there from Josh Drinkwater, and again another brilliant pass from Braden Williami. If you're playing outside him as a centre, you're going to have some joy, aren't you?
Well, Braden Williami will provide them. David Mead, I'm not so sure on the other side, but that play from Josh Drinkwater, when I was watching it live, even I thought he'd pass the ball. He slows up the pace of his run and then kicks on once he's put that dummy on. But Daryl Alfords, Gary Connolly, the great fullback from yesteryear, the 90s, played in the Saints, Wigan and Leeds side, used to say consistently, don't leave the field, don't leave the ground while the ball's in the air unless you need to, because while your feet are off the ground, you can't change direction.
Steve McNamara enjoying life in Perpignan, and fair play. He said when times were tough that things would get better when injured players came back. That has happened at a crucial part of the season, and his faith has been rewarded. Drinkwater can't find the target with the conversion.
Yeah, he's missed a couple of attempts. He's only posted 3 conversions. It would have been a lot better for the Dragons had he been more accurate with the boot, but the fans will settle for this, won't they? That's beautiful play. The way that Drinkwater squares up the defence as well allows Williami the time to get the ball away.
Who did he dummy? The player that everybody's attracted to, Kenny Edwards. So while everybody's thinking about getting a good whack and good contact on him, Drinkwater outsmarts them.
28-4, Catalan ahead as the players leave the field. Fouad Yaha with 2 of the 4 Catalan Dragons tries. Could be better if Drinkwater had his kicking boots on, but it's bad enough as it is for the Salford Red Devils, and Catalan Dragons are on their way to making sure of a Super League future.
Shoulder into the ribs and then leg drive from that point.
Oh, I've got a tip on the horses. I'm going to have a go.
Lads.
And everybody.
Get bigger odds on your racing bets every day with Odds Boost.
Odds Boost.
1 meeting a day boosts the price of your horse for every race.
Select who's best. Nice.
Think she beat you by a nose, fellas. And we're off! Ladbrokes, for the betters of Britain.
Book your ABTA and ATOL protected holiday now for just a £60 deposit. Jet2 Holidays. Package holidays you can trust.
Julian, the sooner you... Oh no.
Perfect.
So, some bozos dented your vehicle.
Julian, could have been anyone.
Him.
Them.
Marigold.
Anyway, you're probably thinking they wiped out your no-claim discount. But you're with Direct Line and you're not to blame. So unlike other insurers, you can claim and your no-claim discount is safe. I'll leave you leverage to it.
The Simba mattress survives the most rigorous testing because you do more in bed than just sleep.
Hair today, gone tomorrow? Not if I get my way.
Contact us for a free consultation or go online. Hair loss? Belgravia Centre.
Enjoy the ride. The Vitara and Swift by Suzuki.
Available to buy and keep in Sky Store now.
Come on in! Help yourself to anything. I can't think of one thing that could possibly stop our fun.
Everyone hide! McGregor is coming!
Watch it straight from the cinema.
This is starting to get out of control. Peter, are you sure you know what you're doing?
Never stopped me before. This is only the beginning.
Choose Peter Rabbit on digital and add the DVD or Blu-ray. Buy and keep in Sky Store now.
All the fun you need. Wow. Really? All in Sky Cinema Animation.
Bowling! Should be a cracking series.
England's Test Series v India. Live on Sky Sports Cricket.
You've got to grind the team down.
There's some great action to look forward to on Sky Sports. Following us tonight on Sky Sports Action, it's the World Match Play in darts from Blackpool. And that's on Sky Sports Action next. Tomorrow at 12:30 on Sky Sports F1, it's the German Grand Prix. And Sebastian Vettel pole position for that race. All the action, the build-up from 12:30. And more still to look forward to. Because, of course, coverage of the Open Day 3. Really exciting build-up to that tournament with Tommy Fleetwood, a Wigan fan, limbering up for a challenge for the title. That's on now on Sky Sports The Open. So some great action here on Sky Sports, with great action in the first half at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. Well, as far as the Catalan Dragons are concerned, not so hot for the Salford Red Devils. 28 points to 4. The Catalan Dragons lead, needing the win to make sure of Super League safety in 2019. Well on course for that after a dominant first half performance. Analysed now by John and Barry.
An action-packed first 40 minutes. 5 tries to Catalan and just 1 to Salford. A couple of long-range efforts for Catalan Dragons. Fuad Yaha, who's had some lovely touches, tips it on. And the space is created. Braden Williami keeps his nerve, finds an offload. Fuad Yaha, after 6 minutes, gets the first of his 2 tries of the opening 40. Beautiful stuff, lovely stride. He's assessing the situation, tries to take the fullback Ed Chamberlain on. Ed Chamberlain does enough, but the offload is there because of the support run by Fuad Yaha. A penalty and 2 points was taken by Josh Drinkwater, and then what a beautiful offload. Wonderful offload from Mikel Simon. Lange on the shoulder, and Josh Drinkwater just tracking up. 19 minutes on the clock. Michael McAlorum, who's been incredibly influential. A lot of the action has started with his contributions. Josh Drinkwater, 19 minutes, 2 tries, and then from the kick-off, Mikel Simon does some of that good work. The shift play, Josh Woods finds Daryl Olfett on the edge. First try for Salford.
Yeah, as you get another look at this as well, Jake Shorrocks is looking at that defence, beautiful ball out the back to Wood, and then he finds Daryl Olfett. That's the only 4 points scored on the 21st minute mark from Salford. Then it was normal service resumed by Terry, found short by Mickey McAlorum. Up to the video referee. That was given a try. So smart out of dummy half is McAlorum. Very often takes the right decision. Referred up as a try by Mikalauskis, confirmed by Robert Hicks as a try. And then the second try in as many minutes. Drinkwater with a steepling bomb. Fuad Yaha, player of the half of the Catalan Dragons for me, finds super sub Kenny Edwards. He crosses underneath the sticks. And it's that sort of play you're finding more and more in that first half as that went on. You know, kicks, accurate kicks, not under pressure, no pressure applied from the Red Devils. 24-4 at 35 minutes. And then right before the hooter, Olfert spills another big bomb from Josh Drinkwater. That's spun out, and lovely little play. The stop, the go, the squaring of the hips. And Willie Army has an easy job in finding Fuad Yaha. Crosses in the corner just before the half-time hooter. This one took the scores out to 28 points to 4. It's worth another look at the action there from Drinkwater to Willie Army. Well recovered from Yaha. Second try of the half. My player of the half, Bill. The Catalan Dragons well in control.
Yeah, the Dragons in the box seats at the Stade Gilbert Brutus then, leading by 28 points to 4. Fuad Yaha taking his try tally for the season to 8 then, with those 2 first half tries. Salford already confirmed in the bottom 4, in the middle 8s. Well, they've got some pride to salvage in the second half, because there are some big games coming up for them. They at least need to build some confidence for what lies ahead in their fight for Super League survival. But it's looking good for the Dragons.
Unveiling new designs daily. Swoon, for the home obsessed.
You know, just thinking, scratch cards are a bit like blind dates.
You reckon?
Yeah, let's watch Harriet play one.
Oh, he's nice, isn't he?
Ooh, lovely teeth.
Oh, nice smile there.
She's keen as mustard, look at that.
Oh, and lovely shoes.
Very.
All the things she likes.
Hold on, what's that?
A big red button? What is it? She's confused.
I'm confused too.
She's gonna go for it. It's a fog-on! She loves fog-ons!
Beautiful combo, teeth, shoes.
Fog-on. Nice scratching.
Sammy.
Oh, Sammy. So we've had a severe leak. Parents en route, and time is running out. Lucky for you, they called direct line. Your plumber's been, so let's put this plan into action. Pineapple shirt, Little Willie will size the place up. Mango, Big Will's on dry up. Kumquat, Agatha's on the heavy stuff. Are we Crystal?
Yeah.
This little shindig never happened.
It's ringing.
Mum? Dad?
I've renounced all my possessions and I'm moving to Milton Keynes with my spirit guru and lover / father figure.
Keith.
That's nothing! I just rented a BMW 5 Series for £49 from Sixt, and we're off to Margate.
Sixt! Drive smug!
We're about to roll. Sounds impossible, right?
The cases are hard, stakes are high, the lawyers on the other side are better than you, and the judges are smarter than you. Some of you won't succeed. Welcome to the Mother Court.
You can't just be good. You have to be the best.
They're young, they're hungry, they're smart. Let them fight it.
I'm the guy you don't want to go up against.
Do your best.
Win.
Guilty.
Not guilty? She'll go to jail.
I did what I had to do.
I like you.
I did not protect him!
Do not let it break you.
That was an absolute wicked kick, that.
Second half coming up at the Stade Gilbert Brutus in Perpignan, where the Catalan Dragons are leading by 28 points to 4. Fouad Yaha with 2 of those 5 first half tries for the informed Catalan Dragons. And Salford Red Devils, just the Daryl Alfort's try to their name. Did look as though Salford were finding a way back into the game at one point when Catalan came up with a string of errors, and Salford came close to punishing them, but they weren't able to sustain that pressure, and some pretty impressive finishing from this Catalan Dragons side has put them very much in the driving seat and on course for a top 8 finish and Super League safety, which will be a massive achievement given the state they were in earlier in the season.
It looks a very relaxed changing room at half-time. Not too much in animation.
It's a bit
players
too relaxed. I think they should be out on the field, actually.
Players are just saying to each other, look, let's keep doing what we're doing. It's Salford who need to change the rhythm of this game. Catalan Dragons, well, it's just a case of keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, it's been a very accomplished first 40 minutes from the Dragons. Just that 5 or 10 minute period midway through the first half, kicking out on the fall, Mikel Simon knocking off in the restart. But other than that, very accomplished, and that's why it would have been a relaxed dressing room. Not an awful lot for Steve McNamara to pick on his side about. Particularly impressed, Bill, with the impact from the bench. Sam Mower obviously from a very early stage in that half, and then the guy in your picture, Julian Bousquet, Kenny Edwards we've spoken about at length, and Louis Anderson as well. They've been exceptional. That's exactly what you want, particularly with a bench that size.
What's the game for Salford in the second half? I mean, it's conceivable that they could find a way back into this.
It is, but it's unlikely unless they get some field position. What they've got to work out is, do we need the ball, or is field position more important? Sometimes you'll give away possession, you'll kick long and put some pressure on your opposition. I guess the first 5 or 10 minutes will get a flavour of what that might be for the Salford team.
Scott Mikalauskas just waiting to get the second half underway. Catalan, of course, with the Challenge Cup semi-final against St Helens to look forward to in a few weeks' time. And they'll go into that on the back of an impressive run of form.
And what many people thought was a gimme, if I'm not being too cruel, in their semi-final draw has now turned into a very, very interesting clash indeed, hasn't it? Such as the turnaround in form shown by the Dragons.
Well, could there be a turnaround in form in this game? Because Salford need that to happen. They were out early for the resumption, waiting for Catalan. Ian Watson maybe sent them out there to roll their sleeves up, salvage some pride. Looked marginally forward from Tyrone McCarthy, but referee saw nothing amiss with that as Robert Louis puts the kick in, looking for a 40-20. It's a good kick, but Gigot is across to cover that one, and then he's driven toward the sidelines. Good kick from Robert Louis.
Oh, we hardly mentioned Tony Gigot. There's been lots of players putting their hand up to get involved. This player, Fuad Yaha, with 2 tries. Some good stuff, some good work. Sometimes his appetite to work away from his own line could be better. Willie Army, that back line's been really impressive. David Mead, Lewis Tierney.
Yeah, Jody Broughton can't get in the side. Ian Thornley can't get a game either. Competition for places, that's what a coach wants. That's what Steve McNamara's got.
And all the good sides, not to labour the point about the bench, all the good sides have quality to bring in at key stages in the game. The quarters, once the first quarter is over, that's a difficult
a penalty though, because David Mead collided with Ed Chamberlain and took out the Salford fullback, and Chamberlain felt it.
Well, Ed Chamberlain jumps as high as he can to get first to that ball, different to the first half when Daryl Olfert's made a real pudding of his high kick, but the fullback gets up high and lands very awkwardly. Looks okay, thank you. So far looks like he's okay, but landed very heavily.
It'll be a firm pitch at the Brutus, that's for sure. Middle of summer, temperatures high. Sounds like England. Well, sounds like Britain.
I'm not complaining, Bill.
Now, the reason there's a penalty given, we need to protect those key players, those key positional players, and in very, very vulnerable positions. Same thing as a kicker on one leg after making a kick, a fullback in the air, both legs off the ground. It's a long way to come down if your equilibrium's disturbed by a chaser coming through. It's a good rule, and it's well applied most of the time.
Levi Azongu initiating that little burst of offloading from Salford there. Bit of intent from Salford at the start of this second half. Lannan quickly to his feet to play the ball, despite the attentions of the Catalan defenders. Here's Daniel Murray now. Salford rolling forward, looking to shake the grip of Catalan on this game. With a lively start, and there's obstruction there as Chamberlain ghosted through. Thought it was too good to be true.
Well, Salford got that all wrong. I feel desperately sorry for them. Something has to go their way. Josh Jones is in the wrong place, doesn't move, stands still, and Kenny Edwards is impeded.
Wherever Josh Jones had gone then, he would have been...
Yeah.
Well, then you change the construct of the attacking play, don't you? It's a fair call, a fair result.
Kenny Edwards takes that ball just nonchalantly from Gigot's restart.
One goal.
Busquet. Catalan can't afford to put the cue on the rack just yet.
He's done that a few times, Busquet, over the top. Big, tall player, 6'4", 6'5", just plops it into the path of his support players.
Lange, looping pass, finds Mead. Mead cuts back in field. The PNG international, signed as a full-back, but has been very effective in the centres in recent weeks for the Catalan Dragons. Bang in front of those posts. 3 tackles gone. Drinkwater gets the pass away to Edwards. Edwards, hat-trick for Fuad Yaha, and what a way to finish it off. Superb passing from the Catalan Dragons, and Fuad Yaha was there to claim it and claim the hat-trick, and Catalan surely to claim the win as they continue where they left off at the end of the first half.
Game-breaking moment has come early in the second half. Beautiful work in build-up. It's Kenny Edwards on an outline. Lovely little ball, and the hands that quick the camera can't keep up. Fuad Yaha over in the corner for his 3rd try of the afternoon. He was being my player of the first half. He's keeping that up in the second. What about this for hands from Braden Williami? Fantastic stuff. Jake Bibby's got little or no chance of doing anything. Fuad Yaha improves the angle and gone from 28 points to 4 to 32 points to 4. Kick to come, and more importantly than all of that, the race to 21 points and Super League survival without having to enter that qualifying stage of the competition. You know, Steve McNamara brought in midway through last season and had to endure a qualifying campaign. Looks very much like they're going to secure their Super League status with a round of the regular season to go, Bill.
Well, Fuad Yaha got 2 tries against Salford back at Easter. Now he's got 3 against them, and still plenty of the game to go, and they're being particularly effective on their left-hand side because Braden Williame is on fire. That was a fantastic pass from the Fiji international, former Manly player. Drinkwater wide with that one. Shake of the head from Josh Drinkwater. Not happy with his performance with the boot.
He hasn't been good off the tee, but his pass selection has been tremendous. Here's the 3 tries that Fuad Yaha has scored. That's the first one, a long-range effort, an acrobatic finish in the corner for his second just before the half-time hooter, and then beautiful hands from Braden Williame. All the defenders were attracted, visually they were attracted by Tony Gigot, but Catalan Dragons, again, going back to that side that was so fruitful for him, putting Robert Louis under pressure, making him make defensive decisions. So he's been virtually anonymous when Salford have had the ball because of the juice and the energy he's exerted in defence.
32-4 then, the Dragons lead. And on course now to Super League safety. Salford already on course for the middle eights, but there was that hope that they could earn themselves an extra home game rather than having to travel for another of the games, but doesn't look as though that's going to happen either. Kenny Edwards gets the pass away to Williame. Little skip from Williame. And the Catalan offloading is causing chaos in the Salford defence at the moment. Here is Samisoni Langi. They're going to that other side of the field. Oh, and they can't be as effective there. Was it batted? Was there a Salford hand in there?
I think a desperate Salford defender has had a go at this. Is it Daryl Alfitz? But over on the opposite side, Kenny Edwards running at Robert Louis. We've seen that half a dozen times during this match, and Braden Williame profits from a nice offloading. And why wouldn't you back Kenny Edwards up? He's got the skill, he's got the ability, he's got the confidence to throw those passes.
Some speculation as to whether Kenny Edwards is going to be a Catalan Dragons player next year, because I think he's only on a short-term deal, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm sure I read somewhere that Huddersfield Giants were interested in him. As I say,
that list will probably grow, I would imagine.
Yeah, he's a player that commands you watch him. If you don't watch him, he's very likely to make a fool.
Fuad Yaha could have 4 here. Fuad Yaha has got 4. Will the referee check that?
Time off.
Yes, I think he will. We can't see. Oh, there we go. There's Scott Michelauskas just wanting to check the grounding.
Yeah, it was just a question whether his boots had slid out in front of him and touched the whitewash. But I think that's fairly conclusive evidence that that didn't happen. And he's going to get 4 tries, he's Fuad Yaha.
I don't understand why he was trying to slide in. The ball has to be the first thing to touch the ground, but he's done it 4 times, so who am I to tell him how to score a try?
He's not the most conventional of wingers, is he? The way he plays the game, his body, it looks like doesn't really know how big or long or strong he is.
And when he got that ball, I thought he was running in cement for a second.
I'm familiar with that problem.
Time on.
It is a try. It's a 4th try for Fuad Yaha.
Good work from Catalan. Robert Louis, missed tackle. Tony Gigot with a long pass to the winger, who takes his time. An unusual put down of the ball, but that's his 4th of the afternoon. The back line of Catalan Dragons. I know the platform has been set by the forwards, but I just think it's been a magnificent team performance. Sometimes it's been the backs that have had to do the hard work, the donkey work, and sometimes it's been the forwards. The balance is just right, and Steve McNamara, as we've said, has to take a lot of credit for the way his side are playing consistently now.
Don't forget they're doing all this in the absence of Greg Bird, who's been their de facto leader on the field, hasn't he, for the last couple of seasons.
Drinkwater, can he land this one? Probably the most difficult kick he's faced so far, and he's on target.
Yeah, direct from the scrum. Drinkwater finds Tony Gigot. He skips out the tackle, attempted tackle of Robert Louis, and then it's just a foot race for the corner. Nakumbawai can't get hold of Fuad Yaha before he grounds the ball. Lovely footwork from Tony Gigot. That's what he's good at, isn't he? And then he's at is quick enough between the ears to find the extra man, the space on the outside. You can see why they went to the video referee. The feet all tangled up with the corner post. Like I said, he's not the most conventional looking winger, is he, Yaha? But boy, is he effective, and here he goes again.
Here he goes. Can't go all the way this time, Fouad Yaha, from the restart.
What about that for confidence? Sam Moore, who's not known for his passing game, finds a long ball to the winger. And he's at the halfway line that they're looking at now, Catalan Dragons. Benjamin Garcia playing at hooker. There was a lovely pass from him from the base of the scrum that set up that last try.
Well, Catalan obviously have got the appetite for more points as Busquets offloads, but the referee had called held.
It was just too late on that occasion. The bus was late.
Take a step.
Typical.
Tackle 4.
Second hat-trick of Fouad Yaha's professional career. First four-timer for him as well. Gigot kicks towards the winger's wing, and the ball comes down, and Bibby couldn't grab that one. It is a knock-on.
Now, the difference between that and the challenge that David Mead got underneath Ed Chamberlain was that was a genuine, or the referee had deemed it to be a genuine competition for the ball. Yaha's up there, arms up, looking at the ball. That genuine competition. Bibby's come up with the error. Again, the correct decision from the referee. Again, the boot of Josh Drinkwater causing plenty of problems, asking plenty of questions of this Salford back three. Just interestingly, given that those three have been under the pump for so long, Chamberlain, Alferts and Bibby, it's surprising perhaps that we haven't seen Niall Valdes, and that maybe tells you a little bit about the state of his return to play. Maybe not quite there, maybe down in the south of France, and maybe taking a position on the bench because he has to.
Yeah. Salford very conscious of what lies ahead. Sam Moa was looking for glory there, but couldn't keep hold of the ball. And Salford at least withstand that assault on their line.
Well, Sam Moore out of the scrum, takes a short pass. A lot of action out of the back of Sam Moore, but he's twisting, he's turning. But on that occasion, Salford's defence was good enough.
Well, on 4 occasions, or 4 last occasions, that the Salford Red Devils have been to the south of France, they've lost by 40 points, and that's in danger of being surpassed this evening. 51.5 minutes gone. There's plenty of this game left, and it's a case of damage limitation now, you feel, for the Red Devils.
They can't afford to go into the middle eights with wounded pride, wounded confidence, because there's some real threats in there. By the look of, there will be threats in there.
Worse than wounded pride would be wounded players, so I've no doubt Ian Watson, Willie Porchin, they'd be thinking to themselves, who do we need to look after here? Who do we need to just take care of, wrap them in cotton wool?
That ball went forward. Well, this is why, I mean, Craig Kopczak and Mark Flanagan have made the journey, but not being risked. And Niall Evalds just back from that broken leg. You wouldn't, would you?
He just is. I think he is. Commentator's curse has got us again. Yeah, he's on the field, he's Evalds. I'll take the rap for that one, Bill. I think I brought him up first. Obviously.
Where's the touchline reporter when you need him?
Obviously got him back on.
There is a job for them.
Oh, when Salford get possession, to give it away so easily like that.
Heads in, Niall!
Just to go back to the qualifiers this year, Jerry McGilvray was interviewed last night on the Sky coverage of the Castlewood Huddersfield game, and said he was so relieved not to have to be in a qualifying campaign. Not a good place to be, he said, and particularly this season. I think there's an acknowledgement league-wide that this is in its final year, its final iteration, is going to be the most difficult to navigate.
Well, they wanted jeopardy. They've got it. Maybe not to the extent that's been envisaged, but you can't have it both ways. As Lange puts the kick in, Mead is chasing it, and he's bobbled over the dead ball line. They'll get the ball back.
A good way to build pressure. He knows what he's doing here. You can tell with the reaction of David Mead over on that right side. He preempted that, he'd told David Mead, Lewis Tierney, stay on side, expect the kick, and Ed Chamberlain had to work hard.
Mild jeopardy. That's less than jeopardy.
I don't think we've got mild jeopardy this season.
I think this is double jeopardy.
So a goal line dropout, and the pressure really is just non-stop from the Catalan Dragons in this second half. Have Salford been up the other end of the field? I can't recall an opportunity for them. This could be another opportunity for the Catalan Dragons, but Drinkwater has to put the brakes on.
Once again, Kenny Edwards right at the heart of that, causing so many problems for the Salford defence.
Okay.
It's Edwards stretching for that pass. This time he's wrapped up. Does have his off-the-field issues, or has had to deal with Kenny Edwards. Got a bit of baggage with him. But on the field, he's been really impressive for the Catalan Dragons since joining them. The ball popped up for Gigot. Oh, Busquets' pass it was, and good defence from Robert Louis to stop Gigot. Little kick comes in. Langy picks it up. It's still on the last. So little kick comes in. Edwards chasing that one. Chamberlain does well.
Excellent work by Julian Busquets. Finds a short pass to Zoni Gigot, and from that point on, the Salford defenders under a little bit of pressure, under a little bit of stress.
And Scott Mikulowski's doing his best John Cleese impression.
It was a good impression.
They're always, I love watching referees. I love watching them on the field. I love watching the warm-ups most of all. They're theatrical. I think they're wannabe thespians, wannabe actors. There's got to be something different, haven't there, to take the job and the flack and the criticism that they get
Kenny
every
Edwards.
single week. And it's, yeah, this is a response, isn't it? But he can be serious as well, can Mikulowskis.
What I do expect you doing is coming up to me with your hand in the air. Pelton's going against you.
Well, that's... What did I say? Kenny Edwards is claiming that he took that ball off Chamberlain legitimately and got it down, and the referee's never even looked at it. But he's then given the referee the benefit of his opinion, and Scott Mikulowskis didn't like it, so the penalty has gone in favour of Salford.
Good. Absolutely spot on.
It'd be worth seeing whether Kenny Edwards did get that ball.
Whether he did or he didn't, to a large extent, it's irrelevant. The referee very rarely changes his mind. I've never known any of them to change their mind, so just you work on the attitude of what's next.
Well, that's the response. That's exactly the response that you would want, isn't it?
Levy and Zongu.
Tackle two, like that.
Oh, that's, I love the little pat on the head as well.
Just what you need,
the considerate, caring pat on the head from Samuel, the man who's just driven you into the ground.
Are you okay, mate? Okay. No, I'm not. I can't breathe.
Well, is that...
No, that's borderline, but if you lose tackles like that from the game, there's something wrong with that.
That's a good hard hit.
Tackle two.
And he's okay.
The 20-year-old is all right. He's back on his feet.
Come on.
He's got a lot of experience. Gets a little tap from Samoa there. As I said, played for St Helens earlier on. He played for St Helens Academy, that was. Played for Toulouse.
Sorry, Bill, I watched him a number of times. Very powerful player. It'll take him a while to acclimatise to top level, but he's getting some experience and exposure with the Salford club. He's a powerful looking player.
Release! Three.
What we're looking at now as the last 24 minutes of this game unfolds, for anybody who faces the Catalan Dragons in this Super 8s competition, they know, I mean, home or away. I mean, home we know. Away, maybe there's some questions still to be answered as Salford again come up with just a forward pass, I think it is.
Yeah.
This is a really, really dangerous side to face now.
I've stopped watching Catalan now. I know what I've got from Catalan. They're ahead on the scoreboard. I'm watching Salford. I'm seeing what they've got in the locker. I'm seeing who's looking for the long grass, who's putting the white flag up, who's trying to wrap themselves in cotton wool, or whose personal pride and pride in performance is just starting to kick into gear now.
What evidence are you seeing? Or are you going to...
It's difficult when they're defending so... And I did say at the start of the second half, sometimes it's more important to get field position, so to add on to the tackle tally, it doesn't really matter if you're far enough away from your own line, or it's less damage likely. So I think we've got, what, 24 minutes 23 and a bit minutes to see who in those Salford shirts is ready mentally, because it's a mental marathon, the Super League. We've got 23 rounds, then it splits, and then you've still got to apply your mind, and the body will do what the mind is telling them. What is the mind of these Salford players telling the bodies?
Remy Casti plays the ball. Intriguingly, Remy Casti coming to the end of his current deal with the Catalan Dragons, and there's some debate locally as to where Remy Casti will be playing next year. It's unthinkable that he'd be playing anywhere other than in Perpignan, albeit the fact that he went and played in Australia for a while, but he came back home.
That was more down to Trent Robinson, wasn't it, than anything else, that he got the shot. The Roosters, they knew, well, Trent knew very much more about him than anybody else in the NRL would have cared to have done. I think we could still see him. We see him as a one-club man, certainly in terms of Super League. I think he's been an excellent servant in this league, and in particular for the Dragons.
Well, Salford Red Devils surviving that assault on their line, bringing the ball away after the kick in from Drinkwater. Here is Junior Sau, 4 tackles gone. Salford with the ball in hand, which hasn't happened very much in the second half. Mossop was trying to turn and offload, but Baitieri was quickly there to block that route. So Louis kicks on the fifth, the deep kick downfield.
No, they needed distance, yes, but they needed it to stay in. They're gonna give Catalan 7 tackles here now.
I tell you what, I am still watching the Catalan Dragons, and I tell you what has impressed me as we come up towards the hour mark. This is a big set of guys, big, physical, powerful set of guys. Whoever is responsible for their conditioning programme is, I think, done an incredible job. And you're going to tell me the answer now. It was a former former Leeds Rhinos, former Salford.
Yeah, he was at Salford. Here's a big tackle and a mistaken forced error. But you're right, it's difficult dealing with the conditions, and they're going from hot to what might be cold. But as we've said, we've had the best summer in Great Britain for
the training time,
10 or 12 years. So you've got to manage the training time. You've got to manage the hydration of the players. So yeah, a good job done by everybody. They look physically and mentally prepared, the Catalan Dragons, for what's ahead of them.
And they lose. I mean, you aggregate all the days lost over the season because they have a travel day inevitably every second week. That's a considerable amount of time that Steve McNamara and the conditioning staff are not being able to get into their players. They look in fantastic condition.
Well, they've conceded possession. That knock-on from Lewis Tierney, which he felt was a harsh call, but it's given Salford possession and an opportunity, the first in this second half, you think, to go for the line, and they've lost the ball, and the referee will call time off by the sound of things.
Ryan Lannon gets a late offload. I think even the cameraman missed it, but he had his back facing towards his try line, or his back facing towards the try line. He's trying to score. He finds an offload. Footwork. Nakambai. Oh, has he lost grip? Tony Shigo. Holy moly. Well, I think that's just mean, that.
And Nakambai.
You've only just got your head round Gigo. That's been 5 years in the making. Now we're chucking Nakambai into the mix. Oh, I tell you, that's closer than it looked at first glance. He's ruled no try. Is there sufficient evidence to consider overturning that decision? I'd say yes.
As Big Ben found a way through for the Salford Red Devils. Ben Nakambai stretching out.
I'd say yes.
I'm not sure. I don't like it when it's fingertip. I know to the letter of the law that's what it is. If you slow it down enough, you can find something. The referee's called it as he's seen it, and I pretty much agree with him.
And Phil Bentham does as well, so he's denied. Is the big Fijian second rower prop forward, looking for his 3rd try of the campaign, but not to be.
There was a time when they were given. I remember one night in Wigan where we waited. Was it Scott Michaels? Scott Michaels?
Steve
Michaels. And we watched. It was the finger, wasn't it? The little finger. Yeah. We watched for hours and hours and hours.
I didn't like it then either.
The point was, it was given.
Well, a bit of spirit from Salford. The initial tackle on Tierney, winning them possession, and then Remy Casti is sinned against, and the penalty goes to the Catalan Dragons.
That's what he does really well, Remy Casti. He refuses to go down. Sam Moore very similar, and it ends up being really messy, really uncomfortable to look at, and the players retreating. They're trying to buy an extra second, and his side benefit from that.
And there's a challenge now for the Dragons as well. The game is won. The 2 points are in the bag. The Super League status is secured. But this is be a very good lesson for them going forward in terms of keeping the pressure on an opposing side. And their points difference is considerably worse than those teams around them, bar Huddersfield. So they would replace Huddersfield in 6, but they're still, before the game started, we're over 70 points in the negative in terms of their points difference. So there's reasons for them not to be conceding penalties like this, not to be letting Salford take a breather, and reasons for really putting the foot on the throat of this visiting side.
Well, they're looking to drive home what be their second win over Salford this season. They lost at Salford on Good Friday to the Catalan Dragons, but they beat them at Magic, and they're on course for a comfortable win over them now. And the Gilbert Brutus into the final quarter of the game, but Salford showing a bit of spirit late on and looking to add to their lone try in the first half of the game.
They've been desperate for this kind of position, just within sight of the try line of the Catalan Dragons.
Tony, you're off.
Here come the Red Devils then. Quick hands, Evolds gets the pass away. Good work from Alford.
David!
Almost found a way to the try line. Evolds' ball has Josh Jones retreating, but Jones then, that familiar stuttering run of his, and he gets the pass away to Wood, and Wood, little step from him, he's going for the line, he'll get to the line. There is fire in the Salford bellies, and they're not going to go down without a fight. And the Red Devil supporters at that other end of the ground salute their team spirit.
That's better from Salford. Lovely late offload from Josh Jones. And Josh Wood, who's tried tirelessly, beats the first defender, spins, keeps going, is aware of the try line. Look at Josh Jones here, he does this better than most in the Super League. Attracts 3 defenders, rolls that offload to a supporting player, and a well-deserved try for Josh Woods, who started the game as a hooker. He flirts between half-back and hooker, and it's through no lack of effort from that player.
Really well taken. A lot more to do there than probably meets the eye. A lovely little stutter step, and took him back on the inside of some Catalan defence. 38 points to 8. Ed Chamberlain has the opportunity to add an extra 2.
First try of the season then for Josh Wood, who's missed only 1 game this season. And Chamberlain on target.
And it's the offload very, very late. Light airy, down low. Stop the check. Oh, it's a beautiful piece of play. Completely wrong foot Tony Gigot. He's used to doing that to other players.
What about those moves?
Maybe a little premature. That's the floss, that, isn't it?
That is, and I can do it better than that, gentlemen, I'll tell you.
Not without your top on, you can't.
No, nobody wants to be exposed to that.
No, it's not. That's not the floss. I don't know what that is.
It is a version, sort of Dad's version, I think.
Anyway, it distracted me from the point where we should have been heaping praise upon Josh Wood. Tony Gigot's been turning people inside out for fun over the last 5 or 6 years, and he had a taste of his own medicine there. There's somebody who's not giving up. You were looking for individuals, Barry. Live wire, determined, fire in the belly, as Bill said, not prepared to give the ghost up. Neither's this guy. Sal's away.
Junior Sal, good run from the Salford centre, and Lewis Tierney and Michael McIlorum have to come back. 15 minutes still to go in this game.
Play on, still 3.
And here is Evolds. Evolds takes that pass from Robert Louis and then cuts back infield.
4.
Catalan maybe clocking off a bit. Salford have got their hands on the ball. They mean to do some damage with it. Robert Louis puts the kick in. Tierney is back there. Ball bobbling. And Can't get... Oh, he can get out of trouble. Does well there, Lewis Tierney.
Does really well, Lewis Tierney. 3 defenders around him, and his side have to work hard away from their own line now. And Salford on the front foot, on the toes, trying to put some pressure defensively. Field position again. Kick long and make Catalan Dragons work hard. Even though the result might have gone for the Salford side, they can take away the validity of that victory. If they can get another 2 or 3 tries, although Catalan will win, they'll get in that changing room and say, well, we're not happy with that.
Here is Braden Williame. Had an outstanding first half, did the Fijian international.
There's another little plus for the Salford Red Devils as well. I thought they didn't do particularly well in keeping Tierney trapped in goal, but they've really restricted the meters and responded well as a team. And look where they start the set. Daryl Alforts is about to play the ball on his own 40. That's a great return and a great reaction and response to not a very good end to the set. And Bibby, another half break. The Dragons are switching off.
And then Salford switch off, and Michael McAlorum, poacher extraordinaire, pounces on that ball.
First to react, Mickey McAlorum. The ball is played, nobody's ready. It was a half break. Ricky Bibby, Jake Bibby, should I say, plays the ball to nobody. And when Steve McNamara made those changes, he brought Michael McAlorum back on. He knows that his competitive attitude will hopefully influence others.
Salford trying to drive Braden Williame towards the sideline, but he manages to stay in the field of play. Here is Jason Baitieri. Lamatazi cuts him down. Little dummy from McAlorum. Here is Samisoni Langi. Benjamin Julian for the try line. He's going to get held up.
Held up, last tackle.
Good work in defence. Great spirit from Salford late on in this game.
As well, Bill, yeah. Josh Jones involved again. He got a late offload away for the try down the other end, and look at him.
Tackle 5.
Junior Sow, Josh Jones and Niall Evels.
Drinkwater's kick, and they'll get the ball back, will they?
Again, it's a committed chase, isn't it? Yeah, been forced dead by Chamberlain. They'll get a repeat set. Baitieri with the chase, along with Kenny Edwards. Lovely weighted kick from the boot of Josh Drinkwater. Just take you back to Benjamin Julian. The line that he hits, the lines that he hits in general are very, very good. He's the one member of that Catalan pack who you wouldn't say big, scary and aggressive, but he makes up for that with some really smart running lines.
So Jake Shorrocks with the goal line dropout, and Catalan have eased the pressure which they were under at their end of the field. Remy Casti, but it was a positive patch for the Salford Red Devils. Josh Wood is down with a bang to the head. As Mikael Simon grits his teeth in determination to get to his feet to play that ball. Mead rumbles over Junior Sow. That takes some doing. Here is Samisoni Langi, this chunky number 6 for the Catalan Dragons.
Stand for.
4 tackles gone. It's with Mikael Simon. Pass is picked up, and Kenny Edwards will get his second of the game from Drinkwater's kick. And Josh Drinkwater puts it on a plate once again for one of his teammates, and Kenny Edwards is the man to benefit from it. His second of this game, and Catalan now have seen off that brief resurgence from the Red Devils.
Just look at that pick-up from Josh Drinkwater. That pass, he's down near his ankles. McAlorum to Mikael Simon, who's probably more looking at the defenders in front of him, throws the ball into the pathway of Drinkwater, who has to bend down and catch it down near his ankles, and a beautiful regather from the kick from Kenny Edwards.
Really smart play. It'd be communication between Kenny Edwards and Josh Drinkwater. What none of that showed was the work that Drinkwater had done in assessing where the fullback was. Niall Evels had been playing fullback for that particular play and had dropped, and he'd broken his stride and just switched off for a second. And that opened up the space for Drinkwater to kick into. It still needed to be accurate, but that man, who's not been excellent from the tee, as we're going to see him try an extra couple, has been outstanding in general play.
Josh Drinkwater has experienced relegation with London and with Lee in his previous life in Super League, and now he's experiencing a different sort of feeling, the elation of Super League survival, and he has played a major part in helping the Catalan Dragons achieve that, as he converts that try.
Third try of the second half. Watch Mikel Simon. He throws that ball back, and the dexterity, the agility for the scrum half to get down, catch it, and still deliver an accurate pass. Plops it onto his left foot. Kenny Edwards gets his second.
And he doesn't even look up. He knows there's going to be space there because he's already assessed that Niall Aveld's hard on him, isn't it? Because it's his first game back. His condition is not going to be what it should be. Taking full advantage. He's box office, isn't he, Kenny Edwards?
He's going to try and offload that ball. He was trying his darndest to get the pass away. Lamitazi all over him to make the tackle.
That's what I've really been impressed with as well. Under Steve McNamara latterly with the Catalan Dragons, they had the potential for that Gallic flair to escape from everybody, whether they were of Gallic origin or not. It seemed to kind of be hardwired into when you put on a Catalan Dragons shirt. They're going for the really low percentage plays. They're pulling back on a lot of that now. You're not seeing so many risky offloads, not seeing so many Hail Mary passes. This looks more and more like a competitive top end of the table rugby team.
That ball though didn't find its target. Julien has to retreat to retrieve it. McAlorum will find space on the short side to put the kick in, but Niall Evolds is there. That's a plus for Salford. Evolds back after that leg injury, that broken leg.
5 weeks. He's been out with a
Some
broken
recovery,
leg.
isn't it?
Yeah. Credit where it's due. He's had to be brave and courageous. He's obviously taken the advice from the medical staff, but back out there.
Here is Junior Sau. McAlorum assisting with the tackle.
The masterstroke to bring McAlorum back on. Catalan were wobbling. That attitude was just starting to wane a little bit, but look at them now.
They're playing McAlorum in spells, as they always have done, but those spells have been longer, and it might be 3 or 4 minutes for each spell, but that makes a considerable difference to the steel in that backbone of that Catalan Dragons defence. And again, testament to his own personal development and to the conditioning staff at the Dragons.
That kick too strong, the ball bobbling over the dead ball line. Here is David Mead. Had a quietish game, David Mead, especially when there are points to be had, because he's got some pace and some finishing power.
Difficult for him, isn't it? I mean, he's predominantly a winger and a fullback. And being asked to play centre is, one, it's a different skill set. You know, there might be 2 or 3 yards apart from centre to wing, but it's a completely different game you've got to play. And 2, my personal opinion is I think it's a huge waste of talent, because he's an exceptional fullback. I know you've got to try and accommodate all these players that they've got at their disposal now, but you know, David Mead.
But in this game, John, what they've done is they've consistently come back to this side. They've consistently put pressure on Robert Louis, and Kenny Edwards, his coach will forgive him that. He's expressing himself. You saw a shot of Ian Blease in the background. Difficult day for Salford, but they've gone at Robert Louis. They've gone at him all afternoon, and the spine, they've got so many different options for the spine, but the one that's working, or the option that's working at the minute, is Gigo at fullback, Langit and Drinkwater in the halves, Michael McAlorum at 9, and to have the ability to move David Mead is very fortunate for Steve McNamara, but it's not needed. It is a waste of talent, but
there's going to be a change anyway, isn't there? I mean, the rumours have been there for a long time, you know, way back in the early stage of 2018, that Sam Tompkins was going to make a move to the south of France. So there'll have to be some adjustments there. Tony Gigo, I feel his long-term future will be in the halves. You know, Sammy Sonilangi may be the one who gives way or has to take up a different position. Josh Drinkwater's really made a case for himself, hasn't he, going forward?
And then there's Greg Bird to come back in, of course. Got players who can't get in the side. Jody Broughton, Ian Thornley, this Gudemond, the youngster who they think very highly of, Mikael Gudemond. So he's got some talent at his disposal as Steve McNamara. And more talent to come, of course, with Sam Tompkins. Here is Evolds, but look at that, there's David Mead.
Stand!
He's picked up a knock somewhere along the line.
And Lucas Alba, another option for Catalan Dragons in the halves. Very young man early in his development, but huge potential.
Think about the youngsters that they are producing. Thibaut Margalet we've enjoyed watching this year as well, haven't we? This is, you know, a good and improving squad with, you know, some big names there, and with more big names next year. Matty Smith, again, is that a rumour, or is that, have I read that confirmed somewhere that he'll be joining the Dragons?
Jake Shorrocks, meanwhile, is tackled by Mead. He's putting himself about. Louis hoists the kick. Mikel Simon caught him after the ball had gone, but the referee didn't see anything wrong with that. Here is the Dragons' 4-try hero, Fouad Yaha, taking him to 10 for the season. And 6 of those have come against the Salford Red Devils.
He's on the right side, isn't he? He's on that left side, that left edge. His attacking shapes.
Is there winger envy? Look, poor old Lewis Tierney's side of the field hasn't seen that sort of action. When you see your opposite number going in for 4 tries.
Oh, there's certainly, I mean, and certainly the left wing spot is the kudos spot in any club. Most halves, most of the population were dominant right-handers, aren't they? I don't know what the percentages are. Let's say 3/4 and a quarter, since I'm making it up. But so the ball from right to left is always the most natural pass. Yes, these days you're getting multi-directional passes, as we are with, you know, with multi-foot kickers, but the predominant side is right to left. So your left winger is going to profit more. All of the things being equal.
Gigot, little kick ahead from him, but Mossop was clinging onto him, and Gigot protests to the referee, who isn't interested.
I'll answer your question, Bill. Yes, there's envy. Whenever the other side is scoring more,
it should have
why
been,
is it not me?
It should have been me. Well, it's not. It's Fouad Yaha. Lewis Tierney has hardly had a look in.
Well, Lewis Tierney was involved in the £1 million game last year, wasn't he? So I don't think he'd be bothered. I think he'd be very, very happy that his team have secured their Super League status. And this is the headline from today's game. We've seen some cracking tries, some great individual performances. Enough to suggest for Salford fans that there's life and a bit of steel left in them yet, but the headline is the Catalan Dragons secure their Super League status with a week to go, and that's massive. When you go back to where they were after 10-11 rounds of the season, that's huge.
He always said, Steve McNamara, in his defence, as soon as I can get some time on the field with my players, majority of them involved in the World Cup. Only a couple of weeks did he have them back from the World Cup, and the season had started.
Robert Louis
Okay, still 2.
looking to round this off at least with some points for Salford. Into the last 5 minutes of the game, 4 minutes now, and Salford underneath those Catalan posts. Wood, who has got a second-half try for them. The ball finds Josh Jones, little kick from Evolds, and Tierney will just make sure that one goes dead.
Ends up being a nice kick from Evolds. I don't think he fancied catching it. It was a bit of a bullet pass. Ended up on his foot.
They've given the knock on though. That's
must have hit the hand first.
What's that, Matt?
Tired players in the Salford shirts and heavy breathing.
Yeah, been a tough afternoon for the Salford Red Devils. Been a profitable afternoon, a successful afternoon for the Catalan Dragons and for Fouad Yaha, with those 4 tries equaling the Catalan match record. Ian Proctor doesn't miss much. Joining Justin Murphy, Fouad Yaha is Justin Murphy, Damien Cardas and Jody Broughton. And Steve McNamara, Alex Chan coming down to the sidelines, accepting the congratulations of the Catalan supporters on mission accomplished for the Dragons.
They have done it in some style as well, haven't they? All manner of tries scored. They're not perfect, and we expect a team not to be perfect when they're wearing those Catalan shirts. They do like to express themselves. The crowd and the atmosphere, they demand to be entertained, but it's a job well done.
But in Drinkwater, they've brought into that mix the steadiest player you could hope for. I mean, he just looks so composed, doesn't he, Josh Drinkwater?
And
does what he's meant to do.
They respect his wants and his wishes, and you can see everybody listening to him, trying to give him what he wants. Mikel Simon makes a basic mistake near his own line, but you're right, Bill, it's been orchestrated, again, by that spine, but Josh Drinkwater has been at the heart of most things.
Oh, and then the ball slips from Jake Shorrock's grasp, a shake of the head from the 22-year-olds.
And he will learn a lot from his experience and his time with Salford. I don't know the ins and outs of that loan deal. You would imagine he will return to Wigan at some point. This will be valuable learning experience from it. He won't feel like it at the moment, but he will become a better player for the time he's spent at the pointy end of this league.
Well, Salford head home and prepare for their final game of this phase of the season against the Leeds Rhinos, who'll be watching this disappointed that Salford have not been able to end Catalan Dragons' great run of form. Come well short of that, and it leaves Leeds in a big hole now and looking to Wakefield and Hull tomorrow. And hoping,
Leeds fans cheering for Wakefield would be cheering for
Hull.
I can't even figure it out myself. Leeds fans cheering for anybody else other than Leeds is strange in itself, isn't it? But that's the position they're going to find themselves in.
5. Move, Josh!
Here's McIlaurin, outstanding, as Gigot looked for 1 point for his 7th drop goal of the season. Tony Gigot, not to be.
Wait there now.
The clock is ticking away.
Yeah.
He doesn't really get a sweep at it.
It's your man Josh Wood as well, isn't it? When everything had gone and everything was dead, he's the man who applied the pressure.
Williame with the final tackle of the game. I hope he hasn't picked up an injury in doing so. He's helped to his feet, and Catalan Dragons celebrate. Crucial victory for them, 44-10. They have won to secure their Super League future for 2019. The Dragons safe with a game to go. That game coming up against Wigan Warriors next week for Josh Drinkwater and the Dragons. Salford head for the Middle Eights. They've got one more game to go, of course, against Leeds next weekend. But there you go, final score 44-10. Fuad Yaha, 4 tries, career first for him, 2nd hat-trick of his career for the Dragons. Josh Drinkwater with a try and 6 goals in an emphatic Catalan Dragons win that ensures their Super League safety, as we'll now see from the Betfred Super League table. This win putting Catalan into 6th place, more importantly on 21 points and out of reach of the Leeds Rhinos. It's all down to Leeds now. Can they get out of that bottom 4? Still some drama to come in the bottom 4 in the Betfred Super League. But Catalan, well, they're celebrating. Sighs of relief for the Catalan Dragons after that big win in Perpignan against the Salford Red Devils. Thanks to Barry, thanks to John, thanks to you for watching. See you again.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.
Just looking to pass, earn the right to play, go forward.
Gale to Hardaker. Hardaker to Minikin. Wide to Eden. 31 for the season.
Success isn't earned these days, it's bought. So to make our app top of the league, we threw a shed load of cash at our IT team. This boffin fulfilled a boyhood ambition of quadrupling his salary when he left his old IT team for ours. Adored and idolised, everybody wants a piece of these guys. Some call them mercenaries. We call them visionaries. Cash really does bring success. Download Paddy Power's fastest and simplest ever app.
Small says stay because you want to stay. There's no contract to keep you. GiftGaff, the mobile network run by you.
To find the truth, you wouldn't listen to just one voice. You wouldn't believe just one story. You wouldn't trust just one opinion. And neither would we. The weak reviews all the issues of our day and where everyone stands on them. Sign up online and try it for free for 6 weeks. Because you shouldn't make up your mind on just one issue.
Bald works for some men, just not for me.
Contact us for a free consultation or go online. Hair loss? Belgravia Centre.
They've offered $375.
$385, not a penny less.
Join the thousands of people selling and saving with the experts, Tepelo.
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So
travel to Ireland from just £79 one way for a car and driver. Irish Ferries. Travel together. Mummy! No. For his bird, far away.
Find your perfect match. Approved used E-Class from £249 per month.
The sounds, the lighting, it's perfect. Oh, I do like having people around for a bite to eat.
Terrify a friend for free. 2-for-1 entry with promo packs of Pepperami.
This program contains flashing images.
BetVictor sponsors Sky Sports coverage of World Match Play Darts.
Welcome to the wonderful Winter Gardens. Big Time Darts is back in Blackpool as we celebrate 25 years of the magic of the match play.
Bills and spills in Blackpool. Yes! Larry Butler! In 3 years' time, we'll be rewriting the history books. This kid could beat them all. Blackpool is buzzing tonight. I'm sat at the edge of my seat now. Stops for the title! Yes!